Hola from Portugal and welcome to Cascais. Been sailing central for the world this week. We're here for the Audi MedCup season 2010. And this is one of the great sailing venues in the world. It has a huge reputation, and it's not hard to see why. We've had some of the most sensational racing in Audi MedCup history, and certainly the way that the racing has started on time, every time, for these rock stars we're looking at now, has been an absolute godsend. Terrific racing, and none more so than today, where we have enjoyed the coastal race today. Now, with me today is the boss of Emirates Team New Zealand, Grant Dalton, and he's just arrived here recently, the other day, and having missed the first two races and having missed the horror show that began for Team New Zealand, and I would imagine wherever you were, in Mallorca, I believe it was, not a happy time. I can imagine you ranting and raving at what was going on then.
Well, I didn't have anyone to rant and rave to. I was by myself. But I've never missed a regatta since I started sailing in either Team New Zealand or any other team I've been in. So it's difficult sitting on the beach watching. I mean, I tell you, you don't make any mistakes when you're watching it on virtual eye.
Well, what we were watching today was a fantastic performance from Emirates Team New Zealand, which you will see in due course. But let's first of all, before the sailors left, a few of them had a chat with us, including Terry Hutchinson, who was recovering and back on the boat after that rather major bang on the head.
Hey, it should be a really nice race. It's a good breeze forecast, a good course. It'll be fun. I mean, the boat's going really well, so yeah, the coastal races are obviously a little bit different. It's about a bit of a endurance race and not making too many mistakes, so we'll try our best to do that. We've got a very, very special guest, my father, so I'm sure he'll be keeping a keen eye. He'll have plenty to say to us if things aren't going well. It's really nice. I mean, my parents, I'm sure, like most other sailors' parents, have been really supportive ever since I started at an early age, so it's nice for him to come sailing with the team, to come out on the boat and meet the rest of the team, and hopefully we'll have a good day.
Yeah, today's the long race, or the coastal race. It's about 40 miles. We have a windward leeward beat to begin with, like a normal race, and then we're off to up around the coast here, up to a variable mark. Around the corner, that'll get us out into the big waves and the open Atlantic. We'll be surfing down there. It'll be spectacular down to a laid mark. That's about a 4-mile run. That'll be a lot of fun. And then we go around that and reach up to the harbour, up under the bridge there, towards the bridge, and that'll be pretty much a procession. And then we reach back out and another little windward beat to finish. So it's a long race. It'll take sort of three or 3.5 hours. And today's windy and cold, so it's going to be all on. Well, the key to these offshore races is still to get a good start and a good windward beat, so you're in contention. And then it's just making smart offshore calls, which sail to put up, what angles you should be sailing, keeping inside your ley lines. So it's similar to your windward leeward course, but just on a grander scale, and monitoring the bigger picture with the weather and how the wind bends around the headland. So it's just all on a grander scale.
Yeah, no, it's very much looking forward to getting into today. The last 2 days, just a bit of a disappointment pretty much all the way around. I feel just in one fell swoop kind of let the guys down in a pretty big way, and so I give everybody on the boat and the team credit for doing the work that they did, and I know they probably feel a little bit of the same, but I think everybody did a brilliant job the last 2 days, and it's unfortunate to have to put the team under that much pressure early on in the season championship, but it is what it is, and we have 3 races left in this regatta, and I think a podium finish is very much obtainable at this point, and there's a lot of points still to be left on the table, so I'm looking forward to getting back into it.
Okay, an understandably glum-looking Terry Hutchinson there, and the day didn't get a lot better for him. Conversely, you must be pretty pleased with what you arrived here to see, because you'd seen them have a shocker of a start and then kind of rise again. Give us a little bit of a summation. I know you've got a briefing to go to. Give us a summation of how you feel that you're sitting after these last few days of racing, when you really seem to have picked up your game.
Well, firstly, we had to pick up our game because we were sailing badly. Inconsistently, I'd say. We felt after day one that we were still pretty quick. We think that in those courses, Origin has probably got a click, maybe, but they're certainly sailing well, and it smacks to me of guys that win gold medals in fleets. They don't have bad races. They just chip away, and when the opportunities come, they're always there. Even early on in today's race, before they found that wings on long bulbs don't reach, they were sailing really well. So I just think we've got a little more consistent over the last couple of days. We spent all last season trying to not have shockers. Started off this one with about as bad as it gets. And maybe a little wake up for us. So we're a little rusty. Maybe a little bit too much time at the beach playing with the kids. And the start of a long season. And coming into tomorrow, we're enough clear that we have to sail really badly to lose now, although it happens. But it'd be good to take away well, not too many points effectively, or put plenty of distance. I mean, if you lose a lot of points here, you've sort of got to spend the next 2 regattas catching up before you can even move on. Puts you under a lot of pressure.
Okay, now, you were saying before that it's the first time that you've kind of missed a couple of in a regatta. You arrive here, you've seen them down and out, you've seen them pick themselves up. Describe the atmosphere within the camp. You're a famously tight lot.
Yeah, well, they were never down and out because we're at all just, resolute to sort it out the day after the first day, which in fact they did, and we've won every day since. So it was never about down and out, and we've been down and out, or in theory, in a lot of regattas, and we always seem to come back. And it's exactly what you say. It's kind of about. I remember Louis Vuitton last year when we were 1 down to Alinghi in the final overnight, and people said, and then we went out and smacked them 3-0. What did you change? And the answer is we never actually change anything, and nothing. Certainly don't change attitude, because that will send you into a spiral. We debrief hard. We always debrief the same. It's always positive criticism or building as such, and it doesn't change. I mean, we adapt it, and we sort of feel at the moment that the pack's closing, and we maybe need to change something because you can't stay here forever, and we're going to get rolled eventually. And kind of that's almost my focus at the moment with Dean and Kevin, Shoebridge and Rod and Joey, to say, well, what are we going to change? Because if we leave it the same eventually, like any business or rugby team, whatever, you will get rolled over. So that's, I guess, the challenge going forward.
Okay, coming back and thinking ahead to the MedCup now, the one thing, the last question to you, you've really done well in this regatta, and you've got 1 and a bit hands on the trophy. It's been in good, strong, solid breeze, and so in fact you've only seen one dimension of what you're going to have to cope with in the Mediterranean. How apprehensive are you going into the light and fickle stuff?
Well, the answer is yes. Last year we improved the boat a lot and got better in the light, and we won the whole season in light air predominantly, which we think was probably a knot under what we thought it would be as an average for the season. The changes to the rule have probably helped us because they've put more sail on a boat, which makes it more powerful, and our boats have needed it. And there's also a slight drop in stability with less people, and that helps us too. The increase in sail area downwind, I think, is probably the biggest element, plus we've changed the shape of our sails quite a bit. So we don't feel vulnerable in the light and the practice lead-ups to here. If anything, the fleet's come closer to us in breeze. I mean, we'll see. But speed-wise, as opposed to anything else-wise, we feel reasonably comfortable.
Okay, well, we're going to let you get away to your briefing now. Thanks for giving us your time. We're going to go and watch this coastal race, which, believe you me, was worth watching. It was a terrific display of changing fortunes.
Origin looking towards the pin end of the line, and I've got plenty of space. We're going to see Ben Ainslie starting to build speed in the next few seconds. But at the committee boat, I think it's Matador probably. Just coming onto the gun now. Clear start, and Quantum make a nice start at the committee boat end of the line. Matador on the pin end, also good, but we can see the bow coming forward immediately of Team Origin. Really nice, confident start from Ben Ainslie and Ian Percy. They've given themselves space above and below, and they can just wind things up now. Quantum tacking off now onto port tack, first to go, and I think we may see Emirates Team New Zealand think about it if they want the right. This is their opportunity, just perhaps of Artemis pinning them a little bit. Artemis go now. Artemis tacked, and we're going to wait now and see whether Emirates Team New Zealand are thinking about it. You can see the swell is really quite big now, just watching Team Origin pitching 2 boats up from the pin end, and also Matador.
Looking out here now outside, it's beginning to clear, it's developing into a gorgeous day, and this should be quite a spectacle for people when they come up close here near the marina here in Cascais.
Yeah, actually, Martin, the windward mark is not too far from where you're sitting, so it's actually going to be quite close in, and as that happens, as the boats move this track, it's going to become increasingly shifty, particularly inshore, with the pressure rising and falling and the wind direction changing all the time. And I think we're actually starting to see that with Quantum Racing, who are probably furthest right at the moment, and their bow has been up and down a little bit recently.
Now, I also understand that there's, I'm waiting to be corrected, but I believe that there's no offset mark on this particular race at this first mark. So that could make for a very interesting tangle up at the top when if they all stay as close together as they are now. So we're down to the mark. Andy, talk us through this.
Team Origin seem to have gone for a very early drop at the moment. And I would say giving away time and distance to Emirates Team New Zealand just now. Don't quite know what went wrong there, but certainly very conservative. And actually Matador coming in very, very nicely from the left-hand side. Come down some nice pressure. But Team Origin just rounding the leeward mark just now for the long beat up towards Caporazzo. Emirates Team New Zealand actually have Matador right on their stern now. So a great recovery from Matador. Bribon looking a little bit vulnerable.
That's quite ironic. You must be good news for them, Andy, because you were saying before that they haven't been really performing up to normal expectations here.
Well, the pursuing pack is really quite tight, as you can see, going around this bottom mark. And position is all important around here because you're going to have a long haul on that starboard tack, aren't you?
It's going to be pretty punishing up there, I would imagine, as they. I mean, Andy, you tell us what it's going to be like going up there now, because they're going to be heading out into more wind and more waves.
Absolutely, it's going to be increasingly lumpy, and the wind is going to increase as they get towards the Cape. But at the moment, it's not too bad. Still very gusty, but. Still going to be the right-hand side that you'll see Team Origin protect all the way up this beat, I would imagine.
Now, give us some indication of the point of sail they're on. I mean, are they hard on the wind, or is it a little bit of a cracked sheets there?
I would at the moment, Team Origin have got the Traveller down just a little bit and perhaps eased a little bit, but. It's pretty hard on the wind just now.
And it'll wobble around a bit more, I'm sure. Is this getting into the tricky stuff now, would you say? We're watching Emirates Team New Zealand just on virtual sliding into a tiny lead over Team Origin. Emirates Team New Zealand closer to the coast, closer into the effect of this bending wind around the Cabo Rassos that we're looking at there.
So we've that position there we've got that position there with Team New Zealand just edging away a little bit in front, but it's still a real ding-dong duel, and as that duel was happening, we also we're looking at the GP42s, and we rejoin them halfway up into I believe it's race 7.
We're looking at Islas Canarias, Puerto Calero, and they're just looking very, very relaxed and pretty comfortable about this. They're not going to be caught now unless something drastic goes wrong.
They're only 300 metres from the line and certain victory.
All right, well that's...
And Iris just staying a little bit high to protect their advantage for the final jibe into the finish line. Iris should be able to convert this to a second.
Well, still a little way to go, and on these
absolutely.
races we've seen
amazing changes just coming right onto the line. So it's going to depend on, I say, the position when they choose to make their jibe.
It's going to depend on these last jibes, in fact. Really, and Cascais Madrid jibed earliest and have got their kite under control, and Iris are just broaching out.
Okay, we're
lost their kite.
Puerto Calera has taken the win, so we'll look back up the course and we'll be able to see what's going on with that second bunch.
Yeah, Iris have lost their kite completely. It's still flogging, and on both sides of them, they're being passed by Cascais Madrid and Peninsula Petroleum. Peninsula Petroleum having to sail a little bit deeper to get down to the committee boat end of the line. It's going to be extremely close for second and third in this race.
They're going
to be too close to call.
Iris flogging their kite again. We're watching at the moment, Andy. That's not a pretty sight at all. But here's the battle.
We're
the
just
battle
coming
royal.
up to finish. It's going to be neck and neck. Absolutely. I think Cascais Madrid are just going to get it. Their bow crosses now.
Yeah.
And Peninsula Petroleum sitting a little bit deeper, get third place.
Well, that was exactly what we say might happen. The changes seem to get rung down at that bottom end of the mark there, Andy. Heading towards that finish line, we've seen a lot of that, and that was a terrific finish by Madrid Cascais out of really nowhere, and all down to that. Well, one very small mistake on this boat. They're planing now across the line, and they'll be kicking themselves at what they've done to let that boat in, Bob Fisher.
Well, they've just lost 2 places, and that's in a 5-boat fleet. That's an awful lot. You've got to be right on your game the whole time. You cannot afford to allow for broaching. Broaching is slow. Well, it happens very quickly, but it's slow on your progress. And
Okay, so that's no disappointment at all for us. Watching that was a little epic encounter, and you can't really you can't complain about the entertainment we're getting, because it ain't over till it's over in any of these races. And here we've got Iberdrola. Well, it's over for them, I guess, because they've had a bit of a nightmare.
Yes, they've called for the fat lady's taxi.
Well, it's all over. They're going to cross the line any second now on Iberdrola. Probably relieved that this one's over, and they'll be disappointed because they've proved just how well they can go in, given the fact that they are slightly disadvantaged by their equipment. They've still got to hope. They're just jibing. No, here they are. They're going to cross the line, or have they actually gone across it now? I think have they crossed the line? No, not quite, but it's pretty close. That must have been one of the gate boys I was looking at. I thought that might have been the pin. But here we are. This is it now. We've got Iberdrola cross the line to conclude race 7 of the GP42 series. The AP over A, so that means no more racing today on this course. AP, the red and white one, AP over A, and this is after 7 races. The provisional results after 7 races. Puerto Calera with a pretty handsome lead there, 6 points up on Madrid Cascais Seguros. Iberdrola, the surprise performer. They've really done a pretty neat job with their older gear.
So while the GPs were duelling, the TP52s were accelerating their way out from Lisbon, and this is where we picked them up on their way back, heading towards the finish. Team New Zealand had the lead. Where are they now?
This is the tack for the line, and this is the final tack, the one and in for the win for Emirates Team New Zealand, who really by a quite extraordinarily comfortable margin take out race 8 of the Audi MedCup circuit. This is the first coastal race of the 2010 season, and the Audi MedCup goes to Emirates Team New Zealand. Now, will they afford themselves the remotest kind of congratulations? Answer, no.
No.
So not a fat lot of emotion. A little wave there from from some of the crew to say thanks very much indeed. We enjoyed that. It's James Dagg, I think. And they turn around and they
Matador
can watch
just
the rest
into the
coming
line
in.
as well now. They've only got about 40 seconds to the line. Just coming into a small lull, and they'll get second. The significant thing, of course, for Team New Zealand is that the boats immediately behind them on the ranking are well down the pack.
Yeah, well, that was a bit more of a wave from Team New Zealand as they went across the camera shot there as we watch Matador. Are they going to have to tack once more? No, they're going to sneak through. They'll be okay.
Just shoot it, I think.
Yeah. No, they'll be right. They're fine. Okay, so that's Matador. This is a wonderful view. We've got virtual in front of me. I've got the TV picture in front of me, and I've got it in real life. And we're spoiled yet again. The battle for third. Well, it's not a battle now. It looks to me like Audi A1 all powered by All for One is going to be taking a terrific third place, and that's, well, I've used Bob Fisher's word again, that's consistently good sailing to get them into that position.
Yeah, consistency is paying, and it has to in this type of racing. With no discards, you've got to be consistent or you perish.
Audi A1 just getting a little knock there, and they may still have to tack to get to the line.
Well, I was to say, I see that Artemis have had to tack. They just tacked again as well. Yeah. So a little bit of the wind doing funny things coming off the city. I mean, off the port here. I mean, there's some pretty strange-looking buildings. There's a big square box thing, which I wonder what effect that has in terms of producing a swirly wind, because that's just right upwind of them by about a couple of 100 metres.
Actually, the battle between Bribon and Bigamist is still going on, and at the moment I would say that Bribon have got the upper hand, but it's extremely close.
Well, that's been a duel then, because it looked like all the cards were with Bigamist.
Yeah, well, I think Bigamist just separated. Remember I said they just held on for about 20 seconds a few minutes ago, and they've managed to let Bribon get inside them, and in fact Bigamist are knocking presently, and Bribon's advantage growing all the time.
Okay, as we watch, Torben Tonkvist takes Artemis across the line, so that's Artemis in fourth spot. Thick end of 3 minutes behind Emirates Team New Zealand.
The first owner driver.
First owner driver is Torben Tonkvist, the Swede on Artemis, and that's some achievement, really, isn't it? I mean, that's it just he really ticks some boxes there to be competing at this level.
He does indeed. I mean, all right, he's got a great team around him, but he drove it.
He drove it, and there's a limit to how much you can say. That you can have your expert on the shoulder saying left a bit, right a bit. You've still got to have some instinctive feel. You've got to know what you're doing with the boat. You can't just do it by numbers.
Without the instinctive feel, you're nothing. You really are nothing. You can have all that experience at your shoulder, but it doesn't really do you a lot of good.
Bribon just coming to the line then.
Yeah, Bribon, it looks like they've got it. That's an extraordinary achievement, really, because Bigamist looked to have it wrapped up. I wonder what went wrong where that was won and lost.
And here's the other battle.
They just got a little bit further to the right and managed to get that leverage on Bigamist, and ever since they got right, they managed to cross and stay ahead.
Okay, and there's another battle going on, if we can swing round and look at that one, between Origin. Origin have got the bit between their teeth now, and
Origin,
Quantum are having a horrible knock on a dreadful knock at the moment. I mean, this is pretty exciting stuff, given that we're we're this long into the race. This is a hard one to call now. Now Quantum have got into a bit of a lift.
Yeah, Quantum are certainly in control of Cristavella, but Origin have a nice line inside, but they're a little bit more exposed to the the breeze as it goes up and down. They're a little bit of a knock just now.
Well, it is going up and down, and we're just watching Bigamist going across the line, being halfway flattened by another great gust. You can see these dark patches of wind, and it's oscillating down the course. And Quantum go into attack, and they've got they're ahead of Christabella. Christabella ahead of Team Origin. Things going from bad to worse for Team Origin, and whoa, it's a great sight here with Quantum really pressed up.
Christabella just tacking top of Origin just to make sure.
Yeah, well, this is it's not been the best day for
Ben and the boys. No, it's not. I mean, they would be really upset. I was going to use another term, but I won't.
Yeah.
They'd be really upset as to what's going on, particularly on this last leg.
Okay, well,
being passed by two boats.
Well, Terry Hutchinson claims a little bit of glory there for Quantum. They've battled back, really distinctive. The big Q on their Quantum sails. Heels over again in one of these enormous gusts that have been busting down the racecourses. Christabella cross just ahead of Team Origin, who have had well, grim would be an understatement, and Team Origin, they round the mark and then just let the ease everything and get ready to drop their main. As behind them, Synergy will be a bit disappointed with their showing. They've been doing pretty well. Synergy are now heading up towards the finish line as we see the long faces on board Origin. The hands on hips there, that's a sort of, dear, that's not gone too well type of look.
So you can see why Ben Ainsley was looking a little slumped and despondent there. Team Origin sliding down to 4th place after 8 races. Emirates Team New Zealand sitting high and mighty at the top with a very big lead, at least one hand and a couple of fingers on the trophy. And then the surprise package here, surely Audi A1, powered by All for One, Jochen Schumann and Sebastian Kohl, having this watchword consistency, having an amazingly consistent series. And Artemis there, another surprise in 3rd. But we've had a chat with a few of the sailors on their feelings about this racing.
Yeah, great race, coastal race there. Big win for us there today. It was windy, fresh, wet, wild conditions, and we had a big old duel with Origin up the first beat, around the first lap. Managed to just get ahead of them at the top mark, the offshore rounding mark. Rounded that, blew up our chute in the hoist, set up our A2, which was a bit lighter. We were always a bit nervous about blowing that out or not, and we were just smoking down that run, down the outside. Had a comfortable lead at the turning mark, and then it was a procession up the harbour, 2 sail reach, all the way up the harbour towards the bridge at Lisbon, and then back out again. And we managed to gradually extend through all of that. And then a very windy final beat into the finish, and we managed to just keep Matador behind us, and Origin slipped back a bit as the race went on, so that's good for the overall points. Yeah, we're pretty similar speed with them upwind, and then we're a bit quicker downwind, and they struggled. They were a little bit slow, and then they got dirty air a couple of times, so they ended up just slipping back through the pack. So yeah, no, it was a tough day for them today. There's a lot of downwind work. Yeah, these boats are awesome in these conditions. You know, when it gets up 25 knots and big Genicas now, we're sitting on sort of 22, 23 knots downwind, and it's just awesome. Job tomorrow is keep it together, just finish it off, you know, just meat and potatoes from here on in.
Yeah, it's obviously the end result is pretty disappointing. You know, we had a great first beat, led around the top mark, led around the bottom mark, and then right up under the cliffs up at the top, we suddenly just dropped off the pace. And at the time we were pretty worried about it, and then we thought, oh, well, maybe we've dropped into some current or something. And then for the next 25 miles we were just off the pace. And yeah, so we either got a bag or a pot or something. I mean, we just you know, the boat was going well down the first run, so and we were slow reaching, which, you know, we just shouldn't be. So really frustrating day, and now we've just got to try and work out what happened. The team's got to learn to live through good days and bad days, and we've obviously, you know, as a team, we've had plenty of disappointing and good days over the last couple of years. So, no, from the team standpoint, if anything, it brings the team together. The team has to come together at times like this, and we've got to be, we've got to treat the day the same as another day. We've got to work out what the problem was and work out, how we can make the boat better, how we can make ourselves better, and what was the problem. It's nothing really changes. We've got to get out tomorrow and get as many points as we can. It's very disappointing to have got 9th or 10th or whatever we ended up getting, and because it's 15 points in the coastal race, and that's a lot to just throw away. And it's a 50 race series, so it's pretty disappointing, but tomorrow's another day. Well, I mean, we honestly haven't even looked at that. Our aim from day dot for this regatta in particular has been to go out and try and be in the top 2, 3, 4, every race. And for the first half of it, we were looking in good shape, and so really nothing changes. We just got to go out tomorrow and try and win a couple of races and get as high up the leaderboard as we can get.
No, actually, I'm surprised seeing the list now that we are second overall, which is very, very good for us. But unfortunately, we have been second in the coastal race, so we actually could be a few points less and would be even better. So I think we've given away very simple the second place, because at the bottom mark after the downwind, we were in second place, and from then on it was basically like a train following each other. And even in the train, we lost one place. That was good. After the challenging race, I think we had up to 25 knots, and especially the long downwind and the big waves outside the Cape was quite good fun. Great boats now with the new bowsprits. I think all the rule modification to the TP fleet worked quite nicely. Job tomorrow, sail well again. So I think this is only a preliminary result. So there are 2 more races to do, and I think the results are very close. So we just have to sail good. We are the newcomers here. That's easy, all this.
The newcomers, Jochen Schumann there. Well, he and everybody else was just reveling in those conditions out there. That downwind stuff sticks in my mind. Absolutely brilliant yacht racing to watch. Now, 2 more races to go. I mean, theoretically, Team New Zealand could still lose it, so they'll be battling to make sure. Lighter conditions slightly, but still 2 races for both the TP52s and the GP 42s. We're looking forward to it enormously tomorrow. Hope you've enjoyed it. Come back and watch the grand finale on Audi MedCup TV tomorrow.